Battlefront 2 is coming off of its biggest month of content since it released. The Rise of Skywalker game update introduced a lot of new playable content into the game, and in today's video, we're going to recap all of that new content, as well as some of the stuff that came earlier on this month. We've also got some developer tweets talking about adjustments and bug fixes coming later on, and a sneak peek at new heroes BB8 and BB9E. Not to mention the tease at upcoming villain skins, and some possible bad news for fans of Ahsoka. There's a lot to go over in this one, so give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and let's check it out. The month of December packed 2 game updates in 1 month. Back in November, we had a game update that got postponed until the first week of December, and that doubled the amount of content we got this month. That first update signaled the end of the Clone Wars in Battlefront 2, and gave us a pack of 10 new skins for the Clone Wars reinforcements, 4 for the BX Commando droid, 3 for the ARC Troopers, 2 for the Clone Commandos, and 1 for the Droideka. Although the Clone Wars may be over, the release of Episode 9 forced focus onto another era, the sequel trilogy. With the Rise of Skywalker DLC, we got 4 new reinforcements, the Kafek Spy and Ovesian Gunner for the Resistance, and the newly revamped Jet Trooper and Sith Trooper for the First Order. All 4 can be played in the modes Galactic Assault, Blast, Strike, and Co-op. This update also brought 3 new hero appearances to the game, the Supreme Leader appearance for Kylo Ren, the Resistance hero appearance for Finn, and the Jedi appearance for Rey. All 3 are classified as epic skins and can be purchased for 40,000 in-game credits or 1,000 crystals. One of the best new features that came with the Rise of Skywalker update, though, was playable sequel-era maps in the co-op mode, plus a new map, Agen Kloss, which is the Resistance base we see in Episode 9. This new jungle planet is playable in both co-op and Heroes vs. Villains, and will soon be available in Capital Supremacy next month. All of this came in December, easily making it the biggest month of new content Battlefront 2 has seen since it launched. We have more content coming in next month, and we'll get into that shortly. But first, we have a quick status update from our community manager, Ben Walk, who gave us some updates that were not outlined in the patch notes for the Rise of Skywalker DLC. First, he talks about 2 star cards that have been replaced on the Ariel class. The Ariel no longer has star cards that reduce the cooldowns for its explosive and jetpack abilities, and instead now have the Acquisition star card, which will mark enemies doing damage to you, and Evasion, which will give you 1 extra dodge. To make up for this, the cooldown times for the jetpack and explosive abilities has been reduced. He then talks about Bounty Hunter Bosque and how he has a couple of bug fixes coming to him soon. His Predator Instinct's ability's active time is a lot shorter than it should be, and his multi-trap star card does not throw out the extra mines like it should. He then talks about Strike Mode and how the Ariel class can now no longer pick up the target. They once could, so if you play Strike Mode a lot, definitely beware of that change. Ben was also made aware of a bug with the new Sith Trooper and its Secret Tactics ability, where if you get a kill while it's active, the second time you activate it, it will not mark targets for you like it should. The team has been made aware, and they are looking into a fix. On the topic of fixes, a couple of days ago, a hotfix specifically for PC went live that should address any black screening issues that popped up with the Rise of Skywalker update. It was affecting some players on PC, so it should no longer happen. Now, this update marked a definite shift in focus of the Battlefront 2 development team. Up until now, the Clone Wars era has seen a lot of new content, but that's kind of left the other 2 eras a little bit empty by comparison. This month broke that trend though, with the 4 new reinforcements, the new map, and the sequel trilogy in co-op mode. This is just where it starts though. Next month we're gonna get even more sequel trilogy content, including new heroes BB8 and BB9E, which we got our first official look at in the new Rise of Skywalker DLC trailer. Both new heroes dropped next month, and we have a couple more details on what to expect from the 2 droids. BB8 is said to be more offensive, while BB9E fills a support role for the dark side. Both droids are said to be able to jump, and their movement speed is comparable to a droideka deployed in their wheel form, which sounds like they will bring a faster playstyle to Battlefront 2. As sequel-era heroes, they will be playable in both the hero modes, Galactic Assault, Co-op, and Capital Supremacy, which is coming to the sequel era next month. Instant Action also gets the sequel era treatment in January, and in both modes, Takodana, Jakku, and the new map Agen Kloss will be playable. In both Capital Supremacy and Instant Action during the prequel era, there are 4 heroes and 4 villains on each side. with the addition of BB8 and BB9E that will bring the total number of sequel-era heroes on each side up to 3, which is still 1 hero short from the prequel era. To make up for this, the team is looking into adding Chewbacca onto the Resistance side to give them that 4th hero. In the name of balance, they would have to add a 4th villain onto the dark side, and while we don't have any clue as to who they might add, Palpatine would be a good choice, I think. Assuming they add Chewbacca and another villain though, they would be playable in sequel-era co-op, instant action, and capital supremacy. But talking about Palpatine and his fellow Darksiders, they're in need of some new skins. With all the sequel-era content coming out recently, Ben was asked if we could potentially see quote-unquote old versions of Luke, Han, and Leia from the new movies. While he said there are no immediate plans to add those skins, he said the team is looking at other options, namely Darkside skins. In the 2 years that Battlefront 2 has been out, there are some heroes on the dark side who still do not have any additional customization options other than their default look. These include Darth Maul, Emperor Palpatine, and Darth Vader, all fan favorites who could definitely benefit from an additional skin or two. When it comes to community requests for new content, Darkside appearances are usually very high on the list, so it's nice to hear that the team is starting to focus on them now. Drop a comment and let me know which villain on the dark side you think might be getting new skins in the future. Both Palpatine and Darth Maul have more than a couple of options the team could go with, so I'd say they're pretty likely. Now let's talk about Ahsoka Tano and the possibility of her coming to Battlefront 2. Back in February of 2018, lead design director of Battlefront 2, Dennis Bronville, tweeted out a promise to players that more female heroes would be coming to the game in the future. This got players hyped on the possibility of characters like Ahsoka Tano, Padme Amidala, and Asajj Ventress coming to Battlefront 2. Well, it's now the future, and that promise still has not yet come true. Dennis was asked about this out on Twitter a couple of days ago, and he had some interesting responses. He said, "You're right, we didn't get to the female heroes part, so I'm sorry for that. We did deliver on a lot of other things outlined long ago though, such as the Conquest-like experience, large-scale PvE mode, Obi-Wan and Grievous, instant action, etc." He then follows up with that, and this next response was a little bit more disheartening, because it makes it sound like the chances of new female heroes coming to Battlefront 2 is actually pretty low. He said, "To be honest, saying so many things back then was very risky, and I should not have done that looking back. Things change quickly in this industry. I just felt that the community needed to hear it back then, so I felt the risk was worth it." What really piques my interest about that response is the word risk. That means that back then he did not in fact know whether or not new female heroes would be coming to Battlefront 2. He had to risk the answer and potentially be wrong in the future. It sounds like he only said that to boost hype and morale within the community, which I think it did, and the community probably needed it back then. But if this ends up not being the case, if we do not actually get new female heroes later on down the road, there will be a lot of disappointed players, myself included. Ahsoka Tano, Asajj Ventress, and Padme are all fan favorites, and I know a lot of players would love to see them in the game. What Dennis said here in these tweets is not necessarily final. He did say we did not get to the new heroes, but what I'm hoping he means by that is they did not get to them yet. We are getting 2 new heroes in the month of January, which means they are working on new content all the time, so there is still a possibility for heroes like Ahsoka and Asajj Ventress later on. Many players were thinking that we might see them in Battlefront 2 in February, when the 7th season of Clone Wars drops on Disney+, but based off what Dennis said here, I'm starting to think that might not be very likely. If the team did not get around to working on new female heroes since February of 2018, there's no way they're going to be dropping in 2 months. I will stay optimistic though, and I think we will get more heroes in 2020. Who they might be remains to be seen, but we've got BB8 and BB9E dropping next month, and that's a good starting point. And that is a good ending point for this video, as that's all the news and information we have today. Thank you all for stopping by the Star Bazaar. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like today's coverage, drop a comment below with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe and get notified for more Battlefront 2 videos like this. That's going to do it for me. I'll see you all out on the battlefront. Peace.